Hey everybody, I'm David with Bolivar Live, and welcome to Ask Me About Bolivar. We're doing a little different show this morning because I think we've got a lot of people. In fact, I know we've gotten a lot of new people down on Bolivar Peninsula, and so I asked Doug and Chris to come in with Galveston County EMS to talk a little bit about what they do, our equipment, and their standards, because their protocols, because of our location, are exceed state levels, way exceed state levels, and it'll surprise you how quick they can get to the hospital if need be. So Doug, Chris, thanks for joining us. Doug, let's start off with you. Let's talk about the new equipment. You've got a cool, giant new ambulance.
Yes.
That's been down in Port Bolivar, and now it's in Crystal Beach. Let's talk about some of the new equipment you're getting this year.
It's a 2023. It's an international chassis.
Is it four-wheel drive?
It is four-wheel drive in a 4500 series. So all equipment we have are four-wheel drive, and we're currently in the process. We just finished one remount onto a Dodge chassis, and then we're going to finish up one this next week on a Dodge chassis. And they're 4500s.
So is that about it for major improvements for this year as far as equipment goes?
Yes, yeah, that's correct.
Typically, how long do you keep ambulances?
Anywhere from 3 to 5 years. In the last couple of years, we've seen, a supply shortage out there, so we had to delay some purchases. We spent over like $1 million this year, on capital improvements. For those units. Due to the environment,
they last a lot longer than I thought they would.
The mileage don't get us. It's the environment that we have to deal with, and frame corrosion and other issues,
So cool.
Cause the problem.
Chris, you're a supervisor down here. Let's talk about care. The EMS on Bolivar Peninsula have always had higher standards, I think. And, I know at one point when we were doing some research and stuff, the rate of, I don't know how to phrase it, if you have a heart attack, your recuperation in that was way, way above, and I think still is above national standards and stuff. What kind of protocols, because you're above the state standards, what kind of protocols, or typically what do you do when you get a call? How quick can you get, and you and I talked about this earlier, and it depends, how quick can you get someone to Galveston? Because it's not an easy task. We're not that far by air,
sure,
but you've got a ferry in there. And so how does that all operate?
So just starting with our protocols, we modeled our protocols after some of the larger agencies in Texas, some of the top tier agencies. So that provides our paramedics, which most of them are critical care certified, which is at an advanced level of certification for paramedicine. Anyway, these individuals were able to do certain procedures in the field, some surgical procedures, and some other advanced care procedures that can actually prolong patient outcome. And we kind of pride ourselves in that. As far as transport times, even though we're only about 5 or 6 miles from UTMB by line of sight, with the ferry landing and some of the other challenges of a rural peninsula, it can take much longer. Best case scenario, we have a critical care patient. We can always auto launch a helicopter at no cost to the patient or the ESD. We can get those guys in the air and en route, and then call ahead to the ferry landing and let them know, hey, we need a ferry right now, and they can usually help facilitate that pretty well. Once we get to the ferry landing, we'll make a decision on whether we're going to cancel the helicopter or go ahead and land it. So we have some options.
And the ferry office works with y'all pretty good now.
Oh, absolutely.
I know at one time it was sort of rough, but things are going good, and it's all about getting the patient. Now, you and I were talking earlier, and I'm just going to throw this out there. Y'all don't hold me to it. You said that in the perfect scenario, you could get from here to the hospital in 30 minutes. That's the ferry's waiting, everything's perfect. Now, I don't know if y'all live in Houston or Dallas, but I can't go 4 blocks in 15 minutes. Sure. And so to be able to get there in 30, 45 minutes, and you've always got the helicopter. For critical patients, are they always called?
So it depends on the acuity of the patient itself. It's going to be a decision that's made with the shift supervisor and the lead provider for that call. We will always do what's in the best interest of the patient, of course. But generally speaking, as far as the ferry goes, in a perfect world, sun, moon, and stars are aligned, and the ferry has just unloaded, is at the dock. We can be on it. We can do a load and go where they won't load anybody else up on the ferry, and we'll just kind of take off. It sometimes upsets the other people in line, but it's what's best for the patient.
Well, I wish when my appendix burst, they would have called the helicopter, because they hit that bump on Frenchtown Road and it just,
You felt it?
oh yeah, I felt it. So, it's not just emergencies, or it is emergencies, but it's not just on the highway that they cover. They also cover on the beach. And y'all have started doing some of the water rescue, or took over the water rescue part, so that you had plenty of personnel, I guess. Has that changed the way y'all look at things in the summer any?
It does a little bit. We try to maintain a level of certified surface water rescue swimmers in our core group. We work very well with the fire departments locally to try and facilitate any kind of water rescue that we have. As far as taking it over, we worked in conjunction with the fire departments to provide another service to the Peninsula. And that is quick reaction. Whenever you got somebody in the water and they are in distress, they need help immediately. We were just able to facilitate that a little faster.
Well, and I don't want people to think they took it from him. The fire departments and EMS really work good together.
well
From
together.
what I've seen, whether it's a wreck or a fire. In fact, when you backed up, you had a cooler in the back of your truck, and I made a comment, is that for roadkill, or do you still have a deer back there from deer season? And you said, no, we carry ice and water and stuff for in case there's a fire for the fire department. And I know y'all really work close together, whether it's a car wreck or a fire. There's always an ambulance there, or there's always, the fire department there, whether it's in Highland, Port Bolivar, Crystal Beach. And so they are one unit in one. It may say EMS and fire departments, but they do work real close together and real good together. Talking about the beach now, and this is my opinion, and then I'm going to ask you if I left out anything. When you go to the beach, whether it's most people that go to the beach for a week, they set up in the same place day after day. I see families, and it's funny, the first day they're there, the kids are jumping around, everyone's in a good mood, and by the fifth day they're burnt, the kids are wore out, and the wife and husband are ready to go home. But there's a couple things when you go to the beach, whether it's for the day, for a week, or a weekend, you need to do. The first thing is find out what street you go down to, where you entered the beach at, and then from that point, are you Galveston side or are you New Orleans side of it? The other thing is barrel numbers, because we did a show on this earlier. The county has now started putting barrel numbers on the street signs, on most of them, I guess. Here in Crystal Beach, and they're working their way down Bolivar Peninsula. And so if you're down here, we get a lot of people that come in or call, where's barrel number such and such? Well, drive down the road and look at the street signs.
Absolutely.
And then also, if you're going to have an emergency and you have to call paramedics, have someone stand at the road or on the beach there and wave down so that they know exactly where you're at, because they can see. And they've also now elevated barrel numbers on a lot of the trash cans, I've noticed. And so everything down here works around barrel numbers. You can tell me, I don't know what street I'm on, I don't know if I'm on the east end or west end, but if you know a barrel number, Sheriff's Department, Constable, EMS, everyone knows exactly where you're at.
Yeah,
And
that's one of the most important things. No matter where you're at on the peninsula, whether you're at the 16th Street boat ramp in Bolivar, whether you're at Rollover Pass, the little park that they set up at Rollover Pass even has barrel numbers, all the way down to High Island. If you find a barrel number, that's probably one of the quickest ways we can find you.
Yeah, because y'all have maps, dispatch has, everyone knows where you're at. And when a storm comes in and half of them wash away, it's nice to see them get put back up. But I really like that they're putting the barrel numbers on most of the street signs, and they're reflective, because that's actually how I noticed it. I was driving down And I saw one morning and called William, and he explained to me about it. And so they're putting those up. But just from Team Bolivar, everything that the EMS does is first quality. They do y'all do training like weekly on different things, don't you?
We do train in-house on protocols, and as the warmer months start to set up, you'll see us down at the beach with the boats, running the boats and doing some drills.
Great, great. Is there a website that people can go to for more information on Galveston County EMS?
Sure, if you want to go to just your Google browser and type in Galveston County ESD number 2, the first search result will be our webpage, and you can go in there. We provide a lot of good information there. Also, we have a Facebook page.
Okay, great, great. Well, I know we've got a big year ahead of us. We just started the year. In fact, we finished up the Mardi Gras parade, and we're rolling into a bunch of other events before summer hits. And you just said when you pulled up, well, we're about there. It's fixing to get real, isn't it? So, well, thanks for joining us today. And thanks for everything y'all do. Is there anything else I've left out or missed out on?
No.
Well, I think that actually there is one additional thing, some equipment purchase that we made. We went ahead and we were able to purchase new cardiac monitors this year.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, so our cardiac monitors were kind of starting to enter near end of life. So the SD board was able to provide us with the funding to get some new monitors.
And another thing, we did a show on this earlier, and I'm saying this because I think all the new people that have moved down here and are now following us need to know the machines that you got that you and I were talking
about. The Lucas devices.
The Lucas devices. Every ambulance has a Lucas device down here, and if you don't know what that is, it's more or less an automatic CPR chest compression machine. And if you do CPR right, you can't do it very long. And when you have a 10-minute run or a 5-minute wait on a helicopter, man, that makes a big difference. And everyone in the department's trained on those. How to use them, how to hook them up, because it's not an easy task. You don't just set it on there. You have to strap it down and make sure it's in the right position. And that's one of the things we did a show on that really surprised me, and I never thought about that, you know, doing CPR on someone all the way to UTMB.
Oh, it's a physical process.
I mean, you're going to be sweating and wore out before you get to the ambulance.
We have a great success rate with cardiac event recoveries, and we want to keep that going. So
I want you to keep that going too. So, I can tell you, Chris has been in an ambulance when she fell and broke her ankle. In fact, it wasn't just broke. I think the doctor said it was gnarly when he looked at the thing. And then I made a quick trip over there when my appendix ruptured. And I tell you what, the guys are great. They really care about their patients. They care about quick service and making sure that you get there on time. So anyway, we're going to head on out. Thanks for joining us on this show of Ask Me About Bolivar. We'll be back next Wednesday at 6 a.m. with another show. In fact, we're going to be talking about the big store and little history on it with Keith himself. Until next time, I'm David with Bolivar Live. Y'all have a great day, great week. Come see us. God bless, and bye-bye. The Big Store, located at 2385 Highway 87 in Crystal Beach, Texas, on Bolivar Peninsula. If you're on Bolivar Peninsula and you need anything, stop by the Big Store, where you'll be greeted by a staff of smiling faces and a staff that's eager to help you find what you're looking for. The Big Store is a fully stocked grocery store with fresh fruits and vegetables, meat department with hand-cut steaks, canned goods, dairy products, frozen foods, and beer and wine. The Big Store is also home to a gift shop, camping and fishing supplies, RV supplies, tools and hardware, and home goods, all under one roof. The Bolivar Peninsula Superstore, like they say, if the Big Store doesn't have it, chances are you really don't need it. For more information on the Big Store and their weekly sales ad, please visit www.thebigstore.us.